Okay.
Not quite 1:30, but 3, 2, 1, roll.
Three, two, one, roll. Hey, welcome. Thank you for watching another In the Huddle. These just keep getting better and better every week. So make sure you tune in, watch some of the old ones. We are just continuing to put out excellent content. This week, I'm really excited. This is a really interesting topic. I know this is a really, really popular topic in home services. We're talking about micro marketing. So, marketing, yes, but micro marketing. Marketing can be expensive. So really hone in where you're spending your money and getting ROI and bang for your buck. That's the way to do it. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm joined with Jason Nunemacher, Rob Kane, and myself, Chris Volpe. We'll be, for the next 30 minutes, we'll be talking about micro marketing. And I'm going to hand it over to Jason because Jason is a owner of many home service businesses to the tune of over $27 million. So he's seen a thing or two. So Jason, I know we were talking about marketing. What are your thoughts on marketing?
Yeah, um so the first thing is like obviously it is the start to making money, right? Like if people don't know you, they can't do business with you. And so you have to get out there and get known. And your biggest problem is obscurity, right? So I heard something a couple days ago. This guy named by the name of Myron Golden, and he was talking about stop paying for things with money and start paying for things with offers. And you don't like think of it, everything you buy comes from the money from customers, right? And so you got to start thinking that way. I think Grant says the same thing, right? Who's got my money? The whole premise behind that is if I want something for my business, for myself, or whatever, it's all going to come from somebody else that gives me money, right? And for us as business owners, that's customers. And so if you think you have a money problem, right, what you really have, this is what he was saying, Myron Golden, you don't really actually have a money problem, you have an offer problem. And so he talks about the four types of offer problems. The first one is lead generation offer problem, meaning you don't have enough people to sell to, which is what we're going to focus on today. The next one we talked about was core product offer problem. So you're getting leads, but they aren't buying. And so you got to figure out what is it I'm not saying, what is the offer that I'm giving that they're not converting. The third one I should say is the premium value offer problem, meaning you're getting enough leads, you're making sales, but there's not enough profit. So somewhere you're not creating enough value in your offer to ask for enough money to be profitable. And then the last one, which is another place, another time, is having you don't have a retention offer. So you're not getting repeat clients or repeat business in continuity. So, but obviously we want to focus on marketing, and definitely this is Rob's strong point. This is what he's been doing the last umpteen years. He did it for us in our business for about 4 or 5 years, and continues to help companies and his own business through marketing efforts. And um, it's interesting. I was just talking to a business owner the other day who was looking at they had to remove somebody who was a key person in the company, and so they're all taking on these extra things. And so we're looking at with them, hey, like we're all maxed out. What do we do here? And we're looking at their organization chart, which we call an accountability chart. And when I looked at the different um, seats in that company, the functions of that company, obviously you have operations, you have marketing, you have sales, you have finance. And so when I look at those, the one to me that stood out, like the easiest to outsource is the marketing. And so I'm like, man, you don't have to go do all these interviews, find somebody that you don't know if they're competent, right? And all this stuff. You can go get somebody that already knows how to do marketing, and you don't have to pay them like a full-time employee. You pay them for what they do. And it's a lot of times it's way cheaper than having that full-time employee that you don't have to manage, all those other things that come along with bringing somebody onto the team. And so I'm a big proponent of outsourcing things like that and getting it off my plate for people that's what they do every day. If you find the right people and that can do that. And I know Rob's had a lot of success particularly with a client that referred him recently. Um, he was getting too many leads and getting too many sales that he couldn't keep up operationally. So we definitely want to bring Rob in and just talk about what does that look like. And we were talking about the science of micro marketing. So Rob, I'll let you take it away and kind of go through that, um, and how you look at that aspect of marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. So when we talk about micro marketing, really the first thing I think of is how to increase engagement within your top 5 zip codes, right? Your 1 to 5 zip codes, depending on the size of the marketing campaign that you want to run, and obviously how, what your budget looks like in terms of owning that market and really increasing that engagement within that area. So I'm going to share my screen here for this presentation, and we can kind of walk through what that engagement plan looks like and what you should be thinking about when you are trying to own those specific areas. So we talk about like targeted and digital advertising. This is the first thing that people think about when they talk about marketing, especially nowadays, is just digital advertising. Before we start just putting ads out there, we want to identify what that target market looks like. And we can garner that information from digging into our CRM. This is one of the first things that I look at when I'm working with clients is like, where are we making the most money? Whether it be like the top revenue earning locations, and then also like the highest jobs that we're securing by revenue within those locations as well. And then designing your digital advertising around that geo targeting. So I want to look at those specific locations and build my campaigns around maximizing my efforts within those locations. And one recommendation that I have is just making sure that those geo targeted areas are easy for your crews to get to, right? Because we know that there's obviously an operational cost involved with reaching various locations, but also they're going to be worthwhile for you to target, and this is where you're going to get your repeat business. These are essentially the markets that you want to own against your competition. The other part of this digital advertising theme is local SEO. So we're going to get into this a little bit more, but really targeting your search engine optimization, the content that you're putting out there around this location, making sure that that content is tailored to reach that targeted audience.
Real quick, Rob,
The next, yeah.
If you go back to that slide. So I just want to real quick interject on that first bullet point of identifying your target customer. So in addition to where are they, what's the age range they're looking for, what's their income rate, I think one thing too that people miss when they try to identify their target, their ideal customer, that really helps connect their message when they start to go to what's my message to put into the content that's going to go out, is really thinking about what problem do I solve? Who do I solve it for? What problem do I solve? If you get really clear about that and ask that question, start writing that down, and then when you go to messaging, when you talk about the problem you solve and how you solve it, use words that they use. Don't use your jargon. They don't know anything about your verbiage and all the things that you do. Like we do tree work, and so we have arborists. Like people don't know all that stuff, right? The words that we use, crown clean, all this stuff, right? What they know is they have a problem. And so you think about what is it they sit and talk about with their spouse or to themselves about being frustrated with their property, their yard, their roof, or whatever it is that you're doing in your service business. Really get clear on, hey, what problem am I solving? Who am I solving it for? And how do they articulate that if they're talking to their brother, their wife, themselves, or what have you? So a lot of people miss that when they're doing that. And I think if you do that exercise along with figuring out where you want to market to, it's going to help you with your messaging.
Yeah, definitely makes my job a lot easier as well.
100%.
All right, now we talk about your referral and loyalty program. So owning your market, setting up a referral and loyalty program. This is really going to drive the stickiness of your company. So we talk about customer referral incentives. We know that the best customers that we get are those word of mouth customers. Not only are they going to stay with you a lot longer, they're also going to, most likely bring in the most revenue. And so we got to think about the value of that lead as we're thinking about that customer referral incentive. What is your average lead acquisition cost? I've worked with companies that are anywhere between, $20 to $100 depending on the campaign. And so what is that customer referral worth to you, and how are you going to promote that? The next is loyalty programs. So again, work with a lot of companies that implement loyalty programs, whether it's your 7th fertilization application is free, or we're going to give you 50% off your 5th service visit. These are incentives that we want to offer to clients to keep them coming back to us and make it appealing to them. Make sure that it's included in your pitch as well and your marketing material, so that again you can drive the stickiness of those clients.
On that customer referral, real quick, this is from the Carnegie Group. They said 91% of customers said that they'd give referrals, but only 11% of salespeople actually asked for them. So understand the problem that we have is not that people won't give us referrals, is that we don't have a program built and we are not actively asking for them. And so because we asked one person randomly every once in a while and they say no, we think it doesn't work. But again, I said on a previous call, if you don't have always, you end up with nevers, right? So if you don't bake this into your process of asking for it, you're not going to get them. Being random is not going to get you the result that you want. And so when you have that kind of data that supports people that say, I want to send you to other people, because it justifies the decisions they made to work with you. They like to tell other people that, hey, I did this, and it justifies that they did it by telling other people, and they want to help you win. And so, but the problem is we're just not asking.
Hey, and I would add, Jason, similar, like, kind of like what you were talking about earlier about, do you want like someone on who's part of your organization doing it? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be super labor intensive. You can set up an automation in your CRM. If you're using Service Autopilot, you can set it up to where it asks for feedback, and if they're happy, then it asks for a referral, and it's just a natural flow. So you can set that up in an automation. I'm sure, Rob, you'd be happy to set that up if you. I'm sure you've created those in the past.
Yeah, we've
There's
got one.
also you do okay. You do have, I assume so. And then, like, if you want to get even more hardcore about it, like, there's like specific softwares that's all around it that like feed into your CRM. So they're out there, whether you want to build it, have it built for you, build it yourself, or find a software. I mean, referrals and those really, because those word of mouth, it's like
High converting.
high converting. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. This next one is community engagement. So when we're thinking about engaging a community, like, what are we doing to engage that community, right? Like, we want them to engage with us. What are we doing from a whether it's like whether we're working with nonprofits, whether we're getting involved with networking groups, like what are we doing to get out there as well? A great way to do that again is local sponsorship. So if you have kids, they might play sports, sponsor a sports team, sponsor an event that's happening locally. Supporting nonprofits can go a really long way, because a lot of times they'll reach back out to you for additional sponsorships for bigger events. And when you start to see those things and promote those things within the community, and also on your own social media platforms, your blog posts, people start to see those things, and it just increases that searchability for you, but also the ability for them to want to work with you as well. Offline marketing, so anything that's not digital, right? We talk about EDDM. I know Chris and I were going back and forth with this a little bit as well. Door hangers, yard signs, these are all things that we can do, that we can output. We were talking, Chris, about the effectiveness of EDDM campaigns and how to really get the most bang for your buck, and not just blanket the city with a bunch of postcards and not receive anything back from that. So doing that at a micro scale, looking at what are our routes that we're following, right? Like, what's the value of those neighborhoods that we're working in, and then building automation or strictly targeting those areas at a micro level, and then continuing that activity throughout the year, in order to start to get your presence out there. You're gonna increase that brand recognition. They're gonna see your postcards. They're gonna see your door hangers. They'll see your trucks out there as well. So when we target those neighborhoods that we're primarily working in and that we're focused on, that's when we're going to start to increase that brand recognition. Anything to add on that?
Yeah,
And
so yeah, we had a really good discussion about EDDM because EDDM it can get really expensive because what I've seen in the past with some service autopilot users is like what you just said. They'll blanket. This is why I pushed back on it initially, but then I came around. They'll blanket the whole city. I'm in the Dallas area, and if you're trying to hit your entire metroplex, man, you're flushing money down the drain. But if you're using those parameters and figuring out those demographics of this is exactly what Rob was talking about. These are the demographics. These are the neighborhoods that I want to go after. This is the ideal household income. You can filter down on that really easily with EDDM, and then it's a very valuable tool. So don't blanket your entire metroplex, but go use EDDM in a much more specific way.
Yeah, I just want to like one example of that. We did a huge one when I was working with Jason, where I think we sent out maybe 50 or 60,000 postcards. It was enormous, and the cost was expensive as well, right? We got a lot of them printed. We went to all of the various post offices that were in those locations to send them out. We still had a return of 1 to 3 on that, right? So we got some return. It's just not. It wasn't as effective as doing like a digital marketing campaign. So you will see a reward for your efforts with that. But again, if you stay targeted, if you start smaller, it's going to be a lot less risk, and you can also continue to focus on those same neighborhoods. And the more that they see your collateral that's getting sent out, the more likely they are to convert at some point. All right, we talked about content marketing. So again, local SEO, when we are writing blogs, doing social media posts, videos specific to your company and the services that you offer, we are also relating that to the areas that we're focused in. So just make sure that we're really centered around that area that we're trying to capitalize on. If you're thinking about like an engagement campaign, a way to launch something like that. I've got an example here, like show us your lawn, share a picture of your lawn, and you can win $100 Home Depot card. So you post something like that, your followers are going to see that, but also you can boost that post to that geo-targeted area. And so, something small like that can go a really long way if you start to get engagement on that. So testing those waters, trying those types of things out, depending on, the voice of your company, like what does that brand look like? You might want to, fashion that in such a way that it aligns with your specific company and branding. But there's definitely things that you can do to focus and engage on the audience within those localized areas.
and then also when you get people that are paying attention to those, understand a like is a lead, right? So whatever platform I said like, but it's there's different things for different platforms. Start a conversation with those people. If they liked a post or they did something on a post that you did on whatever platform it is, start a conversation. Hey, what did you like about that? What do you like about things we posted? What are some what's going good in your yard? What's not going so good? Just start a conversation, because a like is a lead to me. And so I don't have to wait for them to actually reach out to me and say, hey, I saw your thing. I would like an estimate. No, man, as soon as they see something about something they like, that is a start of a conversation.
Awesome. And then, data-driven decisions, right? So always analyze the data. How are these campaigns performing? What's my return on investment? Like how many leads I'm actually getting from this? And then as Jason said, like get that feedback from your customers. Are they seeing you on social? Are they seeing you? Are they seeing your postcards? Make sure that we're always asking, and wherever you can, try to increase that lead source attribution so you're getting that real data of how much money am I actually earning from these campaigns.
On this,
anything to add on data? Yeah,
100%. Did you have something, Chris? Okay, so on data-driven decisions. So I see way too early. I know we've done it in the past, and I see way too early with companies where when things aren't converting into a sale, they start trashing the lead source. What we started doing a long time ago is we started saying, hey, are we doing our part? Because a lot of times it's missed. Again, I talked about the 4 different offer problems that you have, right? A lot of times it's, what is our messaging? Is our messaging connecting? Is our call or our communication with them effective? So You may or may not know that I do sales training, and really I call it communication training. You could interchange the word sales with communication, is because it's really about communication. And so not only do we work with salespeople, we work with people that are maybe handing off that interest to the person doing the sale. And that is super important. So in our business, we have tree service business. We have these leads that come in, and we have to set an appointment for an outside salesperson. And so how good are we doing at speed to lead, right? How quick are we getting to that person that said they were interested, first of all? And then how many times are we following up? A lot of times they're like, well, they must not be interested because they didn't call me back. No, they didn't even pay attention that you called. So everybody's busy. Think about how you operate. Like, I know how, when I need something done, I'm a very busy person. When I need something done and I have the money to spend it, money's not the problem for me. And I'm not disinterested. It said I had 2 minutes to think about solving a problem that I had around my house. And so when I did that, I reached out, found somebody, said, hey, I need help with this. And then when they call me back, I'm too busy. I see the call coming, but I'm like, man, I can't take that call right now because I'm busy. And so if they never call back, guess what? If I didn't save their number, I'm starting that process again and looking for somebody, and I might not call them back. I'm calling somebody else. And so what I tell people a lot of times is the fact that they're not interested or they're not answering, not getting back to you is a good sign. It's not a bad sign. It means they are still interested, because as soon as they made a decision to move on, guess what? They know it's a quick call. It's not going to take much time. Hey, you know what? I appreciate you calling. Already got that handled, but thank you so much for your follow up. And it's over. And so what I tell our people is like, do not stop trying to contact them. You are being of service to them because they're busy people. People that have money don't have time. People that have all the time in the world usually don't have a lot of money. So understand that that's what's going on. And so I think you're missing a lot of opportunities by not looking at, hey, what is our process to actually convert these leads into an appointment, and then an appointment into a sale. So don't just abandon the lead source right off the bat.
I would also say, just to add on to that, everything that you said, Jason, and we talked about this in an earlier session too, but just don't go to the default of I feel like it's not working. Like if you say like I feel, that's a red flag. What's the data telling you? It's just if you say I feel, it's just an opinion. Data is facts. So rely on that. Just like I feel like that's I just said that. But that's a really easy red flag whenever you're meeting with your leadership team when people start saying, I feel like this campaign is just not working. What does the data say?
Yeah, then find out where the problem is. Is it with the lead source, or is it with our process and our people?
Yep, exactly. Awesome. So I'm a small business owner. I don't have a marketing manager that's going to help me out. I also don't have a lot of time in my work week. I think that this micro marketing plan is like the perfect thing for small businesses, right? Regardless of where you're at, because you could take bite-sized pieces of this, just implement it. You could take on everything all at once if you have the time to do it, but most people don't. But really defining a schedule around how we're going to deploy a plan like this is the most important thing. We've talked a lot about activity over the last few weeks, and really the driving factor in marketing or sales or anything that you do, it's all based off of that consistency of the activity that you're doing. So just to kind of give you a quick walkthrough of what this model would look like if you were to try to deploy this at scale, is starting like within a 1 month time frame, right? So week one, we're going to dedicate maybe an hour and a half to planning what it is that we're going to do. So we're going to take the time to define that target customer. We're going to write that out, do the research, and make sure that we know what that looks like. We're going to ask that question, like what problem are we going to try to solve, so that we can start to model our messaging around that. The next thing that we want to do is optimize your Google My Business profile. So if people are trying to find you in a specific area and they don't see you on Google, and you're not targeting that area specifically, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to get found. So you want people to be able to find you easily when they're searching for you online. Then we're going to take one of these campaigns and we're going to plan it out, right? So we're going to define what that loyalty or referral program looks like. What is the customer or the crew incentives look like if we're going to be doing the referral program or door hangers? What does that incentive look like for our postcard or EDDM campaign? We're going to research some networking groups that are in the area, define those sponsorships or partnerships that we want to target. So we're just creating that list right now. We're just creating ideas around what it is that we're going to do. And we're only picking maybe 1 or 2 of these campaigns that we can take on at a bite-sized level. And maximum, you're spending an hour to an hour and a half a week, in week 1 doing this. The next week is preparation. So everything that we need to do in order to deploy our campaign, again, we're only going to spend maybe an hour to an hour and a half doing this. So we're going to take that list that we found from last week. We're going to secure those partnerships. We're going to secure those sponsorships. So I'm going to call, the organization that runs the sports team that my son's a part of, and see if we can secure that sponsorship, right? See what it takes, how much it's going to cost, what do they need. We're going to attend our first networking event. So we found that BNI. We're going to show up, right? That's really half the battle right there. If we're talking about advertising, so yard signs, EDDM, let's secure an Upwork designer so we can find a very low cost designer online, give them the parameters of what it is that we're trying to accomplish, and they'll usually design it within a 24 to 48 hour period. So very low cost for marketing, and we can have that prep work done. If we're doing anything in terms of customer incentives, let's build that email campaign around engaging our customers for those referrals. So just like what Chris was talking about earlier, anything on social media, we're taking videos, we're taking pictures, we're trying to gather that content that we have in order to support those posts that we're going to be deploying in week 3. So week 3, we implement our campaigns, again, an hour to an hour and a half max. You're going to set up that one-to-one at that networking group. So start meeting with business owners that are in that networking group that can refer you to other business owners, or they can refer you to their neighbors, right? Maybe you'll earn a customer in one of those networking sessions. We're going to order the shirts, apparels, tchotchkes that are required for those partnership sponsorships. Take advantage of any events that maybe the nonprofit organization has that's coming up in order for your information to be displayed on their collateral. We'll implement the mailers, right? If we're doing an EDDM campaign, let's send those out. Inform your crews what the yard sign or door hanger incentives look like. Make sure you've got QR codes on all those. Obviously, touch base with your designer before they design the components of that campaign before you put these out, right? But yeah, just define those incentives. Talk to your crews about what that looks like, and then put them to work. Make sure that they are touching 5 houses around each house that they're servicing, and then we're going to launch that social media contests, those posts, all that content that you recorded in the week prior. We're going to start launching those. If we're getting good feedback on 1 or 2 of them, then boost those within those targeted areas.
Real quick,
And then yeah, go ahead.
one thing, when you're creating this content and you're using designers or even yourself, create a checklist of the things that you need to make sure are on there. So we had an incident. This was post Rob. It was not you, Rob. It was post Rob, where we designed an EDDM card, but it did not have an email address. It didn't have a phone number. It didn't have any way to contact us. Fortunately, it had our name, but it was terrible. So we didn't have a process and a checklist of how do we proof this stuff to make sure it's going out with everything it needs on it. So create a checklist that you use every time to proof your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, week 4 is rinse and repeat. So let's review the data. What feedback are we getting from the campaigns that we're sending out? Like how many leads are we actually acquiring so far? Determine what our next campaign is going to be. We took a small bite of the elephant. We're going to keep going because marketing, it doesn't stop. Sales doesn't stop, right? We've got to keep doing that every single week. Promote consistency. So again, if we've got an email customer referral campaign that's going out there, how do we integrate that into our process to make sure that it's something that our customers are coming to expect? And then we're going to celebrate our successes, both personal and with our teams as well, right? If you're having a crew meeting and one of your crews got $50 because they were able to secure 10 leads from door hangers, and those prospects scan those QR codes on those door hangers, so you're able to easily attribute it to that crew leader. We're going to celebrate the success with all the teams in order to incentivize those other teams to be able to want to do that and to promote that positive behavior. Anything to add, guys?
No, I think just tactically you glazed over that, but when you create these EDDMs or whatever you're doing, if you're going to hand them out to certain crews or certain individuals, you can get a QR code software that will track each one so you know who it came from. So you can put a different QR code on a different one so that you know and you can attribute it to the right person. So it's very clear.
So I run a residential cleaning business and I use QR code chimp. It's great. It's exactly what Jason said. I can create a QR code. One, I can customize it and then I can put it on whatever mailer I want, whatever website I want, and I know the source of where that's flowing from.
Yep. Excellent.
Awesome. Yeah, continuing on with that, I mean, just walk through week 1 through week 4 each week. You know, especially if you're just getting started, you're really trying to put something together around the activity that's needed in order for you to dominate your market. And just do this every month, right? Take on those new campaigns, see what's working, see what's not working. And you could start at a low expenditure. And as your business starts to grow, you can start to invest more into it and maybe bring on somebody with marketing expertise to be able to help you out. If you are interested in any assistance putting together a game plan, want to talk through this, want help defining what that target customer is, here's my QR code. You could scan this and schedule 30 minutes with me, and we could talk through what that looks like. If you need help with implementation, we could talk through that. But at the end of the day, our goal really with any of these conversations that we're having is to help with your success within the industry that you're working in.
Yeah, and so just to clarify that, so this is 30 minutes where they have a conversation. There's no charge. You're going to help maybe game plan what they need to do, because you went really fast in 30 minutes, right? And so just kind of go a little bit slower with them, give them their own game plan, and then if you decide, hey, I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy, I want to do it myself, and get that launched with Rob. He's offering that 30 minutes. If you decide that, hey, you know what, I'd actually like some help with it, you can go as far as done for you, but you can do it done with you. And so whatever you decide to do, but appreciate that, Rob, offering the 30 minutes to at least get somebody customize something for them, what they're trying to do, help them decide what's the best thing to do, what's the game plan, map that out for them, and then they can decide, you know, they want to just do it themselves or get some help from you.
Awesome. Chris, you're going to close us out?
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you, Rob, for sharing all that. That was really good. And if someone is interested in getting those slides, because I feel like you basically created a very succinct checklist. Do they just scan that code to get in contact with you to get those slides?
Yeah, that'll work. I can also send it to you if we want to attach it to a drive. I can put it on a drive link or something like that as well, that we can attach to the Facebook post for this call.
That's awesome, because I mean that was really good, just like a checklist. If I, you know, just to sum up anything, to reiterate anything, that was a lot of really good stuff, and I love how Rob was just saying, just start here. You know, like don't try to consume the whole elephant. Just take one bite. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed, and just do something. I can't tell you how many times over the years at Service Autopilot we've seen so many customers just talk and they never do. So take that action, take that step, whatever it is, just one step, because one step will lead to another step. Just
Yeah,
decide to take action.
real quick before you close out, to touch on that, I wanted to say this when he was talking about it, but even on like the pictures and videos, like don't make it perfect. Your crew takes a picture, use it. You can always make better pictures later, but done is better than perfect. And so just do
Yes.
it, get it done, and make it better over time.
Done is better than perfect. In fact, we did a session about social media, and like this company had all this really beautiful social media videos, and the best performing one was the worstly shot one. It was done with an old iPhone. So you never know what's going to hit. So just get the idea of perfect out of your head and just take that step, take that action. That's awesome. Hey, next week we'll be back. We'll be talking about sales. Week 2 in the month, we'll be talking about sales, and we'll just keep doing this. Tune in next time. Let us know if you have any questions, and let us know if you want any coaching too. Please reach out. Until
Yeah,
next time.
and you can reach out at info@disruptorgroup.com.
Excellent. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Thanks,
See
guys.
ya.
Bye.